them in the home.
Consistency. The great teams have it, and the good teams want it. For the North County Raiders, this season consistently has improved. And barring last week's loss to an undefeated Festus Tiger team, the Raiders have consistently been in every game, posting a 3-3 mark in a season where many thought that NC would be rebuilding. The Raiders are reloading and currently sit in 4th place in their district. Meanwhile, the Windsor Owls have also showed some improvements in consistency, posting a 3-3 mark. 2 Class 4 teams will battle it out tonight as the Raiders host homecoming celebrations. Can the Blue and Gold get above 500 with another home victory, or will Windsor spoil the party? Greg Allen returns to the mic, along with the coach Jake Widener and Mike Reeves on a dry sideline. Wyatt Colley and Jacob Towers are ready to roll, and Chad Speaker brings us our Knuckleball Primetime pregame show. It's Windsor at North County for Week 7 of the high school football season. Now, on Parkland Sports Live.
Ready to roll up your sleeves and dive into a hands-on career? Mineral Area College is ready for you. Their Mac Tech industry and technology programs are all about getting to work and making things happen. Whether you thrive on fixing, building, or just plain problem solving, they've got a pathway for you. Welding, HVAC, auto tech, construction, and more. You'll gain the practical skills and real-world experience needed to thrive in today's job market. Take the first step to a fulfilling career in a Mac Tech program. Apply today at mineralarea.edu.
The Department of Mental Health for the state of Missouri is seeking an advanced practice nurse to fill a position on their East-Southeast Regional Forensics mobile team. This position includes daytime travel, a flexible work schedule with remote work options available, at a salary of $130,000 annually and tremendous benefits. This opening will not last long. To apply for the advanced practice nurse position or any other with the Department of Mental Health, please call 573-218-6800 or go to dmh.mo.gov. The state of Missouri is an equal opportunity employer. We celebrate diversity and are committed to creating an inclusive environment for all employees.
At Belgrade State Bank, we're proud to support our local students. For over a century, we've been more than just a bank. We're part of the community. By investing in our youth, we help build a brighter future, from the classroom to the field. We're here to support our students every step of the way. Belgrade State Bank, proud supporters of our local schools and the next generation. A wise place to do business.
Great to be joined by Brian Jones, now head coach of the North County Raiders, right here on Knuckleball Prime Time, or the pregame show. If you're watching it, of course, on Parkland Sports Live, and the North County Raiders 3-3 have a pair of 3-3 teams. In fact, in Windsor and North County. North County has played a good, rugged schedule, and Coach Jones, I remember talking with you even before the year started, and you were optimistic and confident and felt like your guys had a nice offseason and improved. You had some experience back along your lines that you felt like would be a strength of the team, and in fact had some guys back in the backfield as well, but you had a new signal caller, and his name is Brady McClure, and I've been impressed with this young man as well. But let's talk a little bit, I think, first of all, kind of about the lines, the defensive and offensive fronts for you guys. Now just a little bit more than halfway through the season. Have they kind of led the way like you thought they would this year?
Yeah, I think so. If you look at the scores of our game and how we scored a majority of our points, and just what our offense has been up to this point in the season, I think you would say that it's because of those guys up front, and nothing surprising out of them. We kind of expected to lean on those guys a lot this year, to establish our run game and to also establish our defensive run stopping plan. And so far that they've done a nice job at that. The teams that have really gotten after us offensively has been have been teams that can throw the ball on us, and I feel really good for the most part about the way we've defended the run this year when we've seen run dominant offenses, and just really proud of the way those guys have played. They've met expectations, that's for sure.
In fact, you started the season against one of those teams. Farmington has proven to be a very good running team, especially here lately when they've run the ball all over some folks. But you guys were very stern against them in that opener, in that win. And we kind of talk about opening the season against a rival and another good ball club. And how much was it kind of a boost or a kind of a shot in the arm to start the year for your guys with a win like that against Farmington?
Well, I think that's it's definitely a game that everybody circles on the schedule, regardless of whether you're wearing blue and gold on Friday nights or black and gold on Friday nights. Everybody's tuned into the Farmington North County game. Very similar to everybody tunes into the Festus Hillsboro game or the Cape Jackson game or the Valley St. John game. It's just always a big trademark game that you have each season in our area, and people really turn out for it. And so to get a win and to, start the season on a good note and get a win against a team that's really your rival, it was a big game, no doubt.
Coach, we had kind of a fun time here on Knuckleball Primetime doing kind of a midseason football roundtable where we got to talk about a lot of the different teams and around the area. And we kind of classified your backfield as a backfield that has not only a Lightning and a Thunder, but really two of each, because McClure you could kind of classify as a running back because he's a very good running quarterback as well. But when you got Lashley and Cook back there to kind of pound the rock at people, and then you've got Whitfield who's got some good wheels and some good cutback maneuvers, and McClure with the same. You've really got a lot of good options back there.
You definitely have to prepare for our run game if you're an opposing defense, and we've proven throughout the season up to this point that there's several different guys that you have to account for at any time, and regardless of what formation we're in, and there's different guys that can hurt you if you're not paying attention to them. You mentioned all those guys. Aaron has kind of been injury ridden most of the year, and we've yet to see what he can do, except for maybe in the DeSoto game. He kind of proven what he's capable of in the DeSoto game. Brady is Brady's a guy that we probably have had to lean on a little more than we had anticipated, and he has really stepped up to the challenge, performed well. Noah, we wasn't sure what we was going to get out of Noah for sure. We knew he was a good player. We just kind of spent the summer moving him around in positions, and he finally settled in at fullback, and he's really taken to it. And he's, we haven't had a what we would consider a true fullback in the program probably since Clayton back in in 20 and 21. So it's nice to have a guy that you can hand it off to, and he's going to get you 2 or 3 yards at any time you need it. And then of course Landon, what a surprise Landon's been. I don't think I think his second carry at Farmington was that one that went for about 50 yards and set up our first score of the second half. And he's just a powerful runner, and it's nothing flashy, but he's just kind of he's hard to tackle when he gets downhill, and he can really churn his legs and drive out of some tackles. And he's deceptively strong. And you're right. Once if he gets a gap or if he gets loose, he's definitely hard to catch.
Brian Jones, North County head football coach, joining us in the barn tonight, right here on Knuckleball Prime Time, and talking a little North County football with their game against Windsor coming up, whether it's, in a day or in just a few minutes if you're watching our pregame show on Parkland Sports Live. And I remember Coach Jones talking with you at the very beginning of the year, and you said there are 0 games on our schedule that you can just mark as a win, that you can just mark as, hey, we're going to show up, and that's a W. And I really think here lately that's proven to be maybe even more true. DeSoto gets the win against a Fredericktown team who's improved just last week. We were just kind of talking about those teams that you usually can count on a win, and it's not so automatic anymore. And I think kind of what you said at the beginning of the year is probably proven to be more true just week after week.
I'll tell you, Chad, in Southeast Missouri, this has been the craziest football year as far as scores go that I've ever seen. Potosi started out with the huge romp over St. Clair. Then St. Clair turned around and played Farmington within 6 points, and then Farmington goes to Poplar Bluff the next week, and Poplar Bluff plays Farmington within a few points, and then we play Glenwood, who lost to Edwardsville, Illinois by just a score on the Saturday after we played Farmington. And then Edwardsville turns around and beats Jackson the way they did. And then Jackson turns around and beats Cape the way they did. And then you got St. Vincent down there that I don't know that anybody expected what they've done this year, and, tickled to death for them. And then you got, Coach Schmidt, which shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that knows Coach Schmidt, has got the Dragons turned around and headed in the right direction. And they've really capitalized on some opportunities this year. And there's starting to be some excitement again in Dragontown as far as their football program goes. And then you got, it's just,
and then you got Central winning.
You got Central that's supposed to have a down year, and they just keep grinding out wins, and 2 overtime wins, and down to the wire with Potosi, and I mean, it's just. I'm glad this is one of those years I'm glad I'm a coach and not a prognosticator, because I wouldn't be very good this year with the way that the scores have gone.
Yeah, I texted Coach Schweiss after that last one against Potosi. I said, wow, that was exciting. And all he could text back was, yeah, it was for you, but, maybe not so much for him. And I also want to point out, you mentioned that Glenwood ball club that you guys played. So you had a lead in the fourth quarter, and that thing was back and forth the whole way.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's just I don't know what to make of any of it right now. And I guess, we might not know what to make of it till we get to week 10 and they start posting the district brackets.
We've got, and let's kind of talk a little bit about the district. We'll talk about, of course, Windsor as well, but this really is an important game in terms of some district seating, too. I know Windsor's all the way at the bottom of the district seating right now, and you guys are right in the middle, but some people are bunched up, and I know that you'd love to have a home game to start that district.
Yeah, that's huge. Anytime you can get an extra home game on the season that's unaccounted for, it's a big deal. It's a big deal for the gate, and it's a big deal for concessions and for the kids that aren't involved in football, but our marching band and our cheer squad and Raiderettes, and then ultimately us getting to play in front of, getting to play on our home field to hopefully continue the season. So yeah, that's all big stuff. But you're right. If you look at the schedules of our opponents in our district, you look at the remaining schedules. I think we probably have the toughest one, at least by current records. So there's going to be, there's the shuffling in the district seating isn't over yet, and it's not going to be over for a while. And some crazy things are going to happen, I think, between now and the time they set them, in 3 weeks, I guess. But I could see this being a year kind of like the 2018 year was, or the 2019 year, where it's down to the wire, and there's going to be some teams that are jumping other teams by, hundreds of a point. I think the final district points and district standings are probably going to be that tight for Class 4 District 1.
St. Clair and Sullivan, of course, for you down the road in 8 weeks, number 8 and 9. Homecoming this week. Well, as a football guy, as a football coach, what's the best and the worst part of homecoming?
There is no best part of homecoming.
I knew it.
It's the best part's when you walk off the field after the game's over and you hope you're victorious. That's the best part. I'm one of those guys. I didn't really enjoy homecoming as a player, and I sure don't enjoy homecoming week as a coach, and I never have. It's just it's one distraction after another, and a couple of years ago, one of the negative things of COVID was they shut down a lot of the social activities. Well, when they came back, or when they moved them off campus, so now homecoming lasts 2 weeks as opposed to one, because the float building actually starts a week earlier off campus, and it's not regulated by the school anymore. So it starts 2 weeks earlier. So now it's extended a week of hecticness, I guess you could say, if that's a word. And it's just but by the time we get to the end of Friday's game, there's going to be a big relief sighed by a lot of people.
So Windsor coming to town, and Windsor's a club record-wise, like you guys, 3-3. Schedules are much different, but this is against a coach that pretty well. I know the coaching fraternity is a tight one anyway, but you faced Lee Freeman, and he had some very good ball clubs when he's at Hillsborough. We talked about you guys being a run-first team. Windsor might be even more so. 311 yards rushing per game, 18 yards passing. So Lee loves to pound the thing right at you.
Yeah, absolutely. And his teams are always they're always physical. They always get off the ball well, and he's always got some good runners. And what we're seeing on film right now out of the Owls is okay. So you talked about the 311. It might be one, it might be two, it might be two, it might be no gain, and then all of a sudden they bust one for 45 or 50. And that's the ones that just kill you defensively, because it doesn't get your defense off the field, and they just get wore down as the night goes. And then as the night goes, when they're able to do that, and they keep pounding you for a couple yards here and there, and then they bust one, those long plays start becoming more common because your defense is wore out. So they're definitely, we got a lot of film on Windsor. They've improved dramatically from their first week to what we saw last week against Hillsborough, even in the loss. That they are a totally different football team, and things are really starting to come together for them, and it's starting to look like a Coach Freeman offense.
A little bit like you guys, Coach. They have a lot of options too. A running back, their headliner, I suppose you could call him, is Logan Wilson, who runs for just under 117 a game. But they have another guy that runs for just about 100 a game as well, and Willie Coleman the third, 95.5 a game, and then Landon Robbins is rushing for 56 a ball game as well. So if you favor one guy too much, there's another guy too. So is that also a factor you talked about as the game goes on? Sometimes when the defense gets worn out, they can pop those big ones on you. It also is the balance that they can show with the different running backs. Does that give them kind of the ability to do that as well?
Sure. And the backs that you mentioned, one of them is kind of a more fast, elusive, shifty kind of back, and one of them is a run right at you power back that when he gets loose, he's hard to bring down and he's hard to catch. So you have to be aware of that as well, and plan for that. And then another thing you have to plan for with Coach Freeman's offense is all the misdirection. Your defense has to be disciplined, similar to Farmington, but maybe even a little bit worse, because I think they're doing more misdirection now than what we saw out of the Knights. But your defensive front and your linebackers, they can't get caught up with all the misdirection, because what happens is you end up over pursuing or pursuing the wrong way. And you get out of your assignment, and now they're off to the races. And then, you mentioned they're passing for 18 yards a game. Well, what happens there too, and it was evident last week when they played Hillsborough, is they may be passing for 18 yards a game, but they're going to catch you when you're not expecting to pass, and they're going to get you for one for 65 or 70. And that's usually the ones that really hurt. So we've talked a lot this week about being mentally focused and really trusting our reads defensively. And as you brought up, when you got a team and then that's when an offense like Windsor runs really starts to take advantage of you.
Coach, your program had, I think, what you could call a special moment earlier this year when Will Compton came back, and then they put a banner up on the box that commemorates his high school number there. I know that you gave him a hug and had a nice talk, and saw before the game they gave him the key to the city and had a nice honor as well. Do your players kind of connect with him? Are they aware of his impact and his success? Of course, he was a great player at Nebraska and went on to play for 3 NFL teams, and now is very successful in podcasting. But are your players kind of aware of some of the things he did, and is that something that resonated with them and fired them up this year?
They enjoyed having him around, no doubt, and we always enjoy when Will comes home. I think the last time he'd been home for a football game was the Saturday we played Vashon, and so it was fun to see him that day, that time too. And for that game, he actually made a special trip up for the Vashon game, just because it had been so long since we had been in, had made it into the postseason. So yeah, we always enjoy when he's here, and as far as our kids and how they identify with Will. A lot of these guys, they were young. Obviously, they were real little, and some of them not even born when Will was playing high school football. So that meant they were really, they were just, kids, preschoolers and early elementary when he was at Nebraska. And then, some of them might remember, his NFL days, but probably more from what they've been told, but they're all tuned into his podcast. That's for sure. That's how those guys really identify with him is with the podcast and what he does with it.
All right. Oh, Coach, do you go through, say, hey, here, guys, these are 2 or the 3 things that we have to do tonight to win tonight's ball game? Did you kind of have bullet points, or how do you treat kind of those important aspects of what you feel like your team has to do during a certain ball game?
Oh, sure. Yeah. There's offensively, there's things that we really focus on that we want to really be good at each week, and, to try to take advantage of what we see on film, from the opposing team's defenses. And then the same thing defensively, defensively, we try to look at a lot of if-thens. Okay. If a team does this and we stop it, then they're going to do this. Or what's the what are they going to do? What's the play off this play, and try to get our kids ready for that and thinking that way. So when they see something, then they know that, okay, the next thing in the progression is probably going to be this play. So that's been a lot of that this week in preparing for the Owls, more so than probably the 2 previous weeks, just because we got a lot of. We got a lot of personal history with Coach Freeman, even though he's the first-year coach at Windsor. This is the 4th time that we've squared off against each other when it comes to head-to-head. And then we have, when Coach McDowell was at North County and Coach Robbins was at Hillsboro, and we were both assistants. There was probably 5 years there that we, we're all on opposing sidelines coaching against each other. So definitely some history there. And I think if you talk to him, he's going to probably kind of tell you the same thing about what he would expect out of what, he anticipates us or what he anticipates seeing from us Friday night.
Coach Jones, thanks for joining us on Knuckleball Prime Time, and we look forward to having your ball game tonight on Parkland Sports Live. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Chad, and appreciate you guys having me on again.
Bet you. Brian Jones, head man for the North County Raiders, joining us right here on Knuckleball Prime Time, and we're looking forward to that game, North County and Windsor, on Parkland Sports Live.
Parkway Self-Storage is open and ready for you, with 10x15 and 5x10 units for rent, along with outside storage options for RVs, campers, boats, and cars. Parkway Self-Storage is equipped with a security gate and 24-hour surveillance with month-to-month contracts. Conveniently located off Parkway Drive in Park Hills. Call or text 573-366-0900. That's 573-366-0900. Or log on to parkwayselfstorage.org and reserve and make payments online. Owners Seth and Molly Meyer invite you to Parkway Self-Storage.
Fei Lin Boutique is a full-service salon, spa, and tanning destination on Woodlawn Drive in Leadington. Phelan has the exclusive Cocoon Wellness Pro Red infrared therapy, which helps you fight aging, reduce stress, and recover from your workout faster. This luxury therapy is also affordable with infrared and tanning packages starting as low as $54 a month. They also offer massage by Mike. And of course, their upscale salon has experienced stylists who can give you a new look for the perfect fall. Owners Mike and Heather Probst invite you to see yourself at Phelan Boutique in Leadington.
For over 60 years, Odell's Dance Center has been a staple of the Deloge community. They offer classes ranging from beginners to advanced, and all at their state-of-the-art location on Lincoln Street. At Odell's Dance Center, your child will work with the most experienced group of instructors who encourage your child to shine, no matter their ability. Follow their Facebook page or log on to odellsdance.com to find out more. Odell's Dance Center, where every student is a star.
A1 Home Care, the #1 choice for home care services. We offer non-skilled nursing, in-home care, consumer direct, and adult day habilitation services. A1 Home Care will tailor the care plan to meet your needs. We serve 14 counties in southeast Missouri. We hire reliable and trustworthy individuals to perform the care you need and deserve. A1 Home Care has been voted Best of the Parkland for 3 years in a row. We are the heart of home care in the heartland.
Go Raiders!
In a blink of an eye, some moments can change everything. While you can't always predict them, you can plan for them. For 96 years, generations of families have chosen Farmers Insurance Company to help protect their most valuable assets and give them peace of mind. Be sure to talk to Carla or Lene at Deborah Scott Insurance Agency today. See how they can help cover your present and safeguard your family's future as they put your budget and your family needs first to best protect you. What's in your insurance? We are Farmers. 636-937-3200.
Number 52, Xavier Sherpas. Number 55, Spencer Pyatt. And number 84, Ashton Go.
In what has been a lopsided head-to-head series, a pair of 3-3 teams that are in the same logjam of a district hook up tonight. It's homecoming in Bonne Terre. We welcome you to Week 7 of high school football, along with Jake Whitener and Mike Reeves down on the field. My name is Greg Allen. Great to have you with us on what should be a perfect night, finally, for football after rain has kind of been the story the last handful of weeks. Not tonight. That is not the case. This should be not weather impacted in any way, shape, or form. The 3-3 Windsor Owls, the 3-3 North County Raiders. The Raiders try to make it 10 consecutive wins. Jake, this has been a matchup that has resulted in some weird games and some weird finishes over the years. We'll talk about that as we kind of go along through the night. I'm interested to see in a Windsor team that got off to a really good start, maybe not the strongest schedule up front, but at least opened a few eyes to say, hey, Windsor started 2-0. That's not the norm. It's a North County team that started out really, really hot with the win over Farmington. It's been a little topsy-turvy and kind of up and down. But this time of year, as we get to the final push at the end of the regular season, it's all about district points. Good to see you, partner.
Hey, you too. And, you hit the nail on the head there. It's all about districts now. You got to start setting yourself up this week, the next 2 weeks. You got to make sure that you are making that district push, getting your players healthy. And you alluded to this. Windsor didn't start, or they had a great start to the season, sitting at 3-3. This could be the first time dating back till 2006 that they possibly, with Coach Lee Freeman, have a chance to win 5 football games in the regular season. So to say that there have been some weird games, there's a lot that comes out of a game like tonight, knowing that you're both sitting at 3-3, you're both in the same district, one sits in the middle, one sits at the bottom. So there's a lot that could unfold here tonight in this 3-3 matchup.
Well, I've liked them ever since we saw them in game number 1, the sophomore quarterback Brady McClure for the North County Raiders. They'll get a Windsor ball club that's coming off back-to-back losses now, falling to DeSoto and Hillsboro. Meanwhile, the North County Raiders, we talked about this in our midseason roundup, had a good opportunity to match up with the top dog, kind of at least in the conference and certainly in the district, in the Festus Tigers. And North County just got shellacked in a 31-0 loss. Trying to kind of rebound from that a little bit, I would think, tonight.
Well, I think you have to, though. I mean, you have some pretty similar opponents here. They've seen DeSoto, they've seen Festus, they've seen Hillsboro. And the one thing to keep in mind there is the only difference between these two teams with those common opponents has been the DeSoto victory out of North County.
Head down to the field for the first time tonight. Our Mike Reeves is standing by. Happy homecoming night, and I finally bring you good weather, partner.
Yeah, it's about time. When you've been here, it's been rough. This is nice. I can live with this. I'm going to keep an eye out for Northern Lights tonight. I hear that's a possibility. I'm going to be watching for that. I don't know if we're going to be able to see anything or not. I'm also going to be watching for Windsor's defense, fellas, because in recent games, the losses that they've had this year, no question about it, when they've been on the wrong end of the scoreboard, they've given up boatloads of points, nearly 50 once and then over 50 twice. I'm going to watch and see if the Raiders can put some big numbers on the board and maybe get out in front of this one quickly, because I do think North County is capable of putting some points on the board. I got to see if Windsor can stop them.
Windsor will kick it off to start things off week number 7. Thrilled you're with us here on Parkland Sports Live, and the kickoff taken by one of the Raider upmen and down at the 40-yard line, and that is where North County will start their opening possession. They're in the all blues tonight, and Brady McClure to lead them out.
You know, Mike alluded to this, Greg. One of the things is North County's ability to score, and they're at, you know, from our vantage point, we see it. They don't have Aaron Cook in the backfield tonight. They don't have starting tight end Blaine Kennan. You know, that could be a big factor in how many points they're able to push down the field tonight.
Well, Aaron Cook has just been a bruiser of a running back for the North County Raiders, and at least in the games that we have seen him coming in. Raiders in a 3-wide formation. On 1st and 10 in the opening play. It's a wide receiver end around and big yardage on play 1 from scrimmage for North County. Landon Carroll able to bring it into plus territory, and they're already to the Windsor side of the 50. The starting lineup for the North County Raiders up front: Adam Burns, Tyler Pipkin, Jonathan Wallen, Xavier Sherpas, and McKinley Lynn. At the receiver position, Ashton Goad, Dylan Wisnowski, Landon Carroll right there on play 1. And in the backfield, Noah Lashley and Landon Whitfield. Brady McClure, your sophomore quarterback. He'll throw out in the flat. Dylan Wisnowski makes the reception, and the Raiders moving to football well 2 plays in.
That's probably a good thing, Greg, that Windsor called the timeout. The very first play where they ran that jet sweep outside, they had nobody covering the slot receiver. Safety came down to take on the jet sweep outside. If North County sees that from the vantage point of up top here on the roof, you run one more jet sweep and your slot receiver's on a go route, and that's an easy 6. I mean, all McClure's got to do is lob it down the field.
Well, the veteran man across the field, Lee Freeman, longtime head coach of the Hillsboro Hawks. He led the Hawks from 2014 to 2019. Had some really good ball clubs. Had some trouble throughout the years with Cape Central, who had some high-impact clubs during those years and kind of gave the Hillsboro Hawks trouble. He now becomes the lead man at Windsor. Mike Reeves is downfield level. What do you got, partner?
Question mainly for Jake with his coaching experience. How much does it bother you to burn a timeout 2 plays into the game? Is that bothersome? Or is it, hey, I'd rather burn it than watch him score 6?
You got to burn that. There was no safety help over the top of the slot receiver. Now they're lined up correctly, so smart call by Coach Freeman.
And McClure runs into the pile and driven backwards on what was second and mid-range. And so a 3rd down play coming up. Ready to roll up your sleeves and dive into a hands-on career? Middle College is ready for you. Their Mac Tech Industry and Technology program is all about getting to work and making things happen. Auto tech, welding, construction, and HVAC, and more. Take the first step to a fulfilling career in a Mac Tech program. Apply today at middlearea.edu. 3rd and 4. McClure, another straight-ahead quarterback keep this time, and he'll have enough to move the sticks. Just underway in this one.
First down, Raiders. At the Owl 23.
Lee Freeman taking over for Jeff Funston, who led the Windsor Owls for 3 seasons. Prior to that is Alex DeMatteis, who is up on top of the box here and is one of the assistant coaches for the Owls. So still coaching in Imperial. 1st and 10, McClure on a handoff. Lashley right side, snuffed out on a great chase tackle by Logan Wilson, the junior.
By Logan Wilson. About 3 on the play, make it 2nd and 13.
Give you the numbers on Brady McClure. 37 of 51 for just 307 passing yards. He's thrown 3 touchdowns but 5 interceptions. He has rushed for 266 and scored 5 times in the ground on 57 carries. 6th play of the drive on 2nd and 13. Behind the sticks, out in the flat. Little bubble screen. Wisnowski's got it. He's shy of the 20.
Braden Palmy on the stop.
71 degrees on a perfect night for week 7 high school football, getting into the fall now. 3rd and long, 3rd and 11 here. Ashton Goad goes from left to right across the formation. McClure, great protection, throws it downfield, caught pretty much right at the marker, and that's Carroll on the end of the catch. They needed 11 and may have gotten 12.
Taken out of bounds by Brandon Palmy.
You know, you go back to how many times you and I have sat and watched this team, and then we talk about that coaches talk midway through the season. We've already seen McClure throw the ball more tonight on this first drive than we have in all of our previous sittings.
He's got great protection up front. McClure this time on a take. It's got blockers, and now that breaks down to the backfield, circles around, and he is wrapped up and driven backwards. And again, it was Logan Wilson, the first man to break contain and really kind of flush that play out.
Logan Wilson. Loss of 3 on the play. It's 2nd and goal from the 13.
It's an and goal situation for the North County Raiders. Opening drive of the game started at their own 40. 2nd down here. Football at the 13. Direct snap to Lashley this time. He'll plow straight ahead, get inside the 10, inside the 5, and down to around the 3-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and goal. So 2 more cracks at it to get it into the end zone for the Raiders and head coach Brian Jones.
Tegan Gannon on the stop.
Brian Jones in his 8th season. Career record at North County of 48 and 35. Noah Lashley, 206-pound sophomore, gets the call here. The surge.
Noah Lashley on the carry.
Touchdown. Noah Lashley with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season, and the Raiders put points on the board in the opening drive, a 60-yard drive, and the point after pending to lead 7-0. That kick is up and good, and so, boy, you really can't ask for much more, Jake, out of what the Raiders did on offense. They saw some maybe defensive deficiencies on the first 2 plays. They get Windsor to use a timeout, and the drive just continues methodically down the field. Maybe a couple of broken plays, which McClure got wrapped up onto the backfield, but other than that, they recovered nicely.
Yeah, they did a great job. They took 4 minutes off the clock there to march at 60 yards, but the most impressive thing is we've already seen McClure throw the ball multiple times here tonight, and he looked like that young man of poise that we talked about. Great job by that offensive staff, but also you have to tilt your cap to Lee Freeman to make that adjustment, because it could have been a 2-play touchdown drive if they don't call that timeout, get their safety in the right position.
3-minute, 52-second drive, 60 yards on 10 plays. Mike down to the field sideline.
Guys, how good does it make a coaching staff feel whenever you could line the ball up, look at the opponent on the other side, and feel like we can push you off the line of scrimmage? There were about 4 plays in that drive where it was just, we're pushing you back, good luck trying to stop us, and we're going to run right up on you. And they made it look really easy, guys, and they owned the line of scrimmage.
Windsor on the return. This is Logan Wilson. Does the domination, Mike, up front in those lines? And I think we talked about this, Jake, in the opener when Farmington was here. North County thought they'd be pretty good at the line of scrimmage. Mike, are you physically seeing that up front here tonight?
In that first series, without a doubt, 100%. What I watch for, if I line up on the sideline right with the line of scrimmage, I will want to see which of the teams goes forward or backward, depending on your point of view. And in that case, the defense, they were going backward at the snap and being hit and pushed off the line quickly. Big holes were opening up, and then you just run power right at them. I'm curious to see if they can do that all night.
We'll see what the Windsor offensive line has to offer on 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. They run left around the corner, and decent yardage on the first play from scrimmage. The defense for the North County Raiders: Adam Burns, Tyler Pipkin, Jonathan Wallen, Xavier Sherfus, and McKinley Lynn. Linebacking core: Noah Lashley, Landon Carroll, Jackson Sherfus, and in the secondary, we've got Dylan Wisnowski, Ashton Goad, Cole Mullins, and Brady Duncan. Seth Keene also seeing some time on defense along with Kyle Pennington. Little RPO and the initial handoff, and the surge takes it to the 40, and so the Owls move the chains 2 plays into their first offensive series. Windsor with senior quarterback Luke Patterson at the controls, just 4 of 16 for 106 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. They are a ground-oriented team. On 1st and 10 from the 40. This time, quarterback will keep it and go nowhere.
Patterson on the quarterback keep. Tackle made by Seth Keene.
Windsor opened the season with wins over Herculaneum and Afton, and got bludgeoned by Festus 49-14. Picked up a win over the Greyhounds of Clayton by 2. That was in week 4, and then came the back-to-back conference losses to DeSoto and Hillsborough, where they got outscored a combined 116-54. Patterson up under center, and the handoff straight ahead, and the Raiders able to pile up at the line of scrimmage. And so a 3rd and long, and this would be for teams that don't throw it a lot, that sort of prototypical passing down, 3rd and beyond 5, right? 3rd and long, 3rd and 7. Not always the case, though, at the high school level with teams that aren't used to doing that at least a lot.
And I will say, I mean, you've got a wide receiver in Willie Coleman. I mean, he showed speed on that first end around that you don't know what's going to come off that young man.
Misdirection inside to Coleman, the man you just talked about. He got to the 45, but well shy of the distance required for the first. And so 4th down. Well, you don't want to give the Raiders a short field on drive 2, but Lee Freeman and company keeping the offense out there.
No, it's just so common anymore to see your offense stay on the field on 4th and whatever, because usually for whatever reason now you get the punter that's usually your athletic quarterback, which they have in this situation. But when you're going under center, it's pretty obvious you're going for it on 4th and 5.
Jet Black and Charlie Gabriel have also punted for the Owls this season. They're going to go again to Willie Coleman, and the surge, the last push, put him down right on the line to gain for a first. Boy, that will be close. And the officials say move him.
And he picks up the first.
He was stacked up. He got help from behind from friends to push him ahead for the first down.
What's shiftiness, though? I mean, we started to go outside the tackle, bounce back inside the tackle, found the B gap, and then, like you said, though, he was 2 yards short and then got the push from behind.
Coleman comes in the slot right. 3 wide receiver set, man in motion. They'll give it to the motion man. Flags fly on 1st and 10.
It's probably going to be an illegal shift because that's twice Coleman's kind of budged a little bit. He got away with it on the 4th and 5 situation, but they got him on that first down.
On the carry was Christian Cotton.
So that'll push the football back onto the Owl side of the 50. Shelton Sago, our referee tonight, talked to him before the game. He said he came out of retirement, so be easy on him tonight. Long-time veteran high school basketball and football official in the area. 7-0 Raiders. Crossing 4.5 to go, quarter 1. Boy, just a beautiful night. 1st and 15. See what Patterson and the offense have in store. Another straight ahead give, and maybe back to the original line of scrimmage.
Wilson on the carry.
It's been a heavy dose of Logan Wilson and Willie Coleman here in the opening series. Now 7 plays in for the Windsor Owls. Raiders took 10 and put it in the end zone on a 3-yard Noah Lashley touchdown run.
On the play, it's 2nd and 10.
Well, you get quick football games when you got a team like this.
I was just going to allude to that.
This is Coleman to the left side this time, trying to bounce it outside. Nothing doing. Smoked on the backside from Jackson Sherfus, who just plowed him to the ground.
Jackson Sherfus.
Wow.
You look at where we started this. We started on the 25-yard line, give or take a couple inches. We're only to the 50-plus, 49 opposite, so 26 yards here, and we're over 4 minutes off the clock and 26 yards.
If they can convert another first down or two, we might see a quarter go by with just 2 offensive series, one by each team. 3rd and 10. Patterson, first time to put it in the air. Left side, little contact from the DB downfield from Wisnowski. The wide receiver was on the outside, though, trying to sort of run around Wisnowski, and that brings up 4th down. I thought the coverage was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Just get your head around. He was in phase. He had the hand on the hip. Just turn your head, because if that ball's thrown just a little bit higher, you may have a chance to go over the top and snag that.
Now Jet Black will come on to kick it away. He's got 3 punts. He's averaging 33.3 per kick this year. Boy, it's a shame the Raiders tonight without the services of Aaron Cook. Was looking forward to seeing that young man tonight.
Oh, what
nice
a punt.
High spiral kick. Lashley's going to let it bounce, and it's angled inside the 10, maybe out at the 5. We send it down to our Evan Washburn. Mike's not quite as good looking. What do you got, partner?
Well, now I have to talk about the punt. That wasn't my reason for what. Wow. I mean, I sat there watching that, and I thought, if that hits and takes that left turn you hope for, or just dies, what a job to tilt the field position. That was amazing. One thing I was thinking, though, on that pass play, I think how difficult it is for your corners or your safeties when a team comes in historically this season rarely throwing the ball. You can almost nod off like, well, they're not going to throw it. They never throw it. And then all of a sudden you get that hit downfield. They defended it well, but I think that'd be very difficult to stay mentally focused.
I think the one thing you have to do on this, if you're Lee Freeman or a team like an offense that you are run heavy, is you got to expect that pass earlier, though. You can't get yourself in a situation where it's a long down distance where you know it's supposed to be a pass and then throw it in. You need to surprise them on a 2nd and 1 or something where they are expecting your heavy run.
2:54 to go in the quarter. McClure and the North County offense backed up to their own goal line. They'll gain about 5 yards on the first play. This drive starts from their own 3.
Tackle made by Charlie Gabriel for the Owls.
And so 2nd and 5. Our coverage tonight brought to you by Hub's Pub and Grill right here in Bonne Terre. Parkway Self-Storage, Parkway Drive in 67. Belgrade State Bank, a wise place to do business. Fay Lynn Boutique, Salon, Spa, and Tanning. BetterHelp.com/thebarn. 2nd and 5 with a run will roll under 2 minutes. It's on the ground. It's straight ahead. It's Lashley, and he's out to the 15. And a first down, Raiders. Mike, are you seeing that same line of scrimmage in the trenches kind of domination from the blue and gold?
Question, and that's why I wasn't concerned when they started the drive on the 3. They didn't have to worry about being able to get a push and get a first down or 2, and who knows if they can make this a methodical drive, and who knows, they may break one here in a minute, but they can run massive amounts of clock with the way their offense is functioning tonight.
McClure get on the ground. And boy, even with contact, Jake, you saw it right there. The ball carrier's dragging guys who are kind of draped around him.
Well, we've talked about that every time we've watched North County. I mean, they don't stop on contact. I mean, rarely if you get them down in the backfield, it's because it's a backfield rundown. And once they get through the gap, they're chugging their knees up high, and they're not stopping for anybody on any initial contact.
Landon Whitfield with an 8-yard pickup there. 2nd down and short. Well, look at the defense from Windsor. It's got everybody up to the line of scrimmage. This is a little bubble screen to the outside to get the ball in the hands of the speedy Wisnowski, and he's run out of bounds. But he's got enough for the first.
Worked out of bounds by Willie Coleman.
Well, it's a Windsor team that has traditionally struggled, and not just against the North County Raiders. Windsor has not had a season that's even been 500. You've got to go all the way back to 2006, the last time they did that. They went back-to-back in 05-06. They went 5-5 in 03. They don't have a winning record since the 1999 season.
On the stop, Logan Wilson.
That's a pickup of 3 on that play. 2nd and 7. We go under a minute to go in the first quarter. And then you throw in here, they're in a conference with the Festuses, the Hillsboroughs, the North Counties, and from Windsor's perspective, even the DeSotos of the world sometimes, right? It's just been a chore.
And that's tough. I mean, we've talked about it week in, week out with teams trying to rebuild, and like we mentioned, this is the first time since 2006 they have a chance to maybe win 5 games in the regular season.
Whitfield, a yard shy of a first down. The Raiders will not have to run another play in the quarter. It's 3rd and 3.
It's 3rd and 2.
And McClure in the offense with the game clock at 16 and counting. And the down clock at now 16. Under center on 3rd and short. They will run a play. They'll go Whitfield again. He's got the first down. And so the Raiders with a dominant, maybe not so far on the scoreboard, but it's one of those just kind of lean on your opponent and see how long it takes until they just can't handle it anymore and they crumble. And that's when you really start to pile on. But after 1, it's 7-0 Raiders. And you're watching coverage of high school football week 7 on Parkland Sports Live.
The Department of Mental Health for the state of Missouri is seeking an advanced practice nurse to fill a position on their East-Southeast Regional Forensics mobile team. This position includes daytime travel, a flexible work schedule with remote work options available, at a salary of $130,000 annually and tremendous benefits. This opening will not last long. To apply for the advanced practice nurse position or any other with the Department of Mental Health, please call 573-218-6800 or go to dmh.mo.gov. The state of Missouri is an equal opportunity employer. We celebrate diversity and are committed to creating an inclusive environment for all employees.
Raiders start with the football, 1st and 10 from their own 42 to open quarter 2. Greg Allen, Jake Whitener, Mike Reeves, our entire crew on Parkland Sports Live. This is Whitener on another keeper. Or Whitfield, check that. I got Whitener in my head and to my right. Not everybody's Whitener. Landon Whitfield, senior, 6'1", 175. Whitener, Whitfield. It's close enough.
I'll take credit for it.
2nd and 5 Raiders leading 7-0.
But you guys both alluded to this. The offensive line, it's one of those games where how long does it take running the ball like this before Windsor crumbles? Because they're getting driven off, and they're opening up tremendous gaps inside this North County offense.
Design quarterback keeper. Boy, nobody in the center of the field. McClure takes advantage, and he's tackled at the 40-yard line. And so the opening drive for the North County Raiders went 10 plays for 7 points. This will be the 10th play of this drive after Windsor's opening series went 9 plays. Resulted in a punt that started this North County drive at their own 3, but they've gone from there to the opposite 40, and McClure going to stand and throw. He's got a man out in the flat. Catch made. Kyle Strawn on the reset. And to the 30, maybe 5.
Made by Brian Shank. Picked up 5. It's picked up 4.
Lee Freeman had some great seasons at Hillsborough. 2017 won a district title, lost to Ladue 34-20 in the quarters. That ended a run for the Hawks. They went 9-4 in 17, 9-3 in 16, 8-3 in 15, 9-3 in 2014. I mean, it was just great season after great season. It didn't always result in a district title. 2 of those years they ran into Cape Central, and the Tigers just poured on the points. And then one of those years lost in the district semis to Farmington.
Yeah, I think Lee has, a tremendous career up there that a lot of people kind of goes unnoticed, especially with what Saharski's been able to do and all the talent that they've had here of late. But Lee did a great job. I mean, you knew you were always going to see them in the playoffs at some point, either being Cape or Farmington.
Third and short, no problem for Lashley. Bangs off one defender, runs through another one, and just muscles his way to the 15-yard line. Man alive! In the absence of Aaron Cook, Noah Lashley taking over as the battering ram for the Raiders. Mike, down to the field, what do you got, partner?
Guys, I'm wondering if you sense it like I sense it from down here, and I know it's a coaching philosophy thing and a way you go about things. Is this, honestly, that little pass into the flat, is that just another way to run the ball tonight? I know it goes as a pass in the stat sheet, but it just feels like a different way to run the ball.
I think so, too. I think it's to get the ball quickly to the outside and see if you can find space. It's a obviously very safe pass. Different carry here with the B button and spin move down to the 5-yard line. Jesse Johnson, a sophomore, gets into the mix and may have fumbled a football at the end. We'll see if the officials agree, and they do.
Fumble on the play, and it's recovered by the Owls.
Logan Wilson comes out of the pack with it. And Johnson lost it on the 13th play of the drive.
And drive it all the way down to the 5-yard line. New running back first carry. One carry, one fumble. It's not going to sit well with Coach Jones and this offensive staff. But, Mike, to answer your question, yes, when the spread offense came alive, regardless of how you get it out there, the fast screen is the new formation of the outside sweep. It's just no man's in motion, so you don't know which side you're going to throw the sweep to.
We're into the second quarter here. They're after one quarter. Hillsborough and DeSoto. It's a Hawks 7-0 lead. That game at DeSoto tonight. You've also got Potosi at Pacific, St. John hosting Fredericktown, Festus hosting DeSmet this evening, Central at Valley Catholic. All part of week number 7. Jefferson Grandview, Dexter Kennett, Farmington hosting Cape Central. That's an important matchup for district seedings. Central's at Valley Catholic. Here's 2nd and 8. Windsor holds the Raiders out of the end zone at a Jesse Johnson fumble. They come near side to Willie Coleman. He's dragged down maybe a face mask. It looked awkward. There comes the hanky.
Willie Coleman on the carry. Penalty marker comes in.
And that will more than likely give a first down to Windsor. The North County coaching staff not thrilled by that call.
Against the Raiders. Sam Keene was on the stop on that last play.
One of the assistant coaches for the Raiders was visibly and vehemently disagreeing with that call. And Brian Jones took off the headset, turned and laughed at him. His own coach, not the official.
Brian will let you know how he feels about things in game or after game. Usually pre-game he's focused on the game, but if you interrupt his thought process on what needs to happen, you may get laughed at.
2nd and a long 2. Option, nobody to toss to, and enough for the first down. Leaning forward, Luke Patterson. Well, he turned and looked for help, and there was nobody, and Patterson with the uh-oh eyes, able to get upfield enough to move the chains. Fresh set of downs for the Owls, trailing 7-0. Just under 8 minutes to go. Stands a 2 from Bonne Terre on a 71-degree night, week 7. Next week, we'll bring you action from Hale Memorial Stadium, Festus and Farmington. Boy, that would be a dandy. And then the Knights on the road at Central in week 9 against a coming into the night 5-1 Corey Schweiss-led Rebel team. Flags come in on this play and immediately stacked up on the carry. Tristan Cotton. We'll see what that's all about.
Face mask again. Face masking the call against the Raiders.
So another one up high to bring a man down with the helmet. So 1st and 5. Windsor does not pick up real estate in chunks. I mean, it is having to work for everything you get tonight. Cotton in motion, and they go straight ahead with the give. That will be enough for the first down. I mean, it's like if they get 5 or 6 yards, that's a big play for them so far.
So far, but the one thing to consider is how much time we're taking off the clock with each drive. So, I mean, they're doing a good job keeping it out of North County's hands. They're fortunate to hit the fumble on the 5. And if they can milk the clock like this and still move the chains, I mean, at least the counterbalance of keeping points off of North County's side and maybe keeping the ball in your possession a little bit longer to manifest a drive here.
1st and 10 from right at the 30-yard line for Patterson and the Owl offense. He goes to Coleman on the inside give. He's got a decent gain on 1st down. And that approach that Jake just talked about, Mike, is kind of what you and I have talked about for 22 years on the hardwood. Yeah, late game situation, if you're trailing, you could foul people. It's the hope method, but, you know, hope they miss the free throws. But the hard part is you got to score when you get the basketball. Well, here, Windsor, yeah, they're doing a good job of keeping North County off the board, and the fumble certainly helped, but they eventually got to put points on the board themselves. 2nd down and 4. This is a give to Cotton. Comes around from the left, around the quarterback, runs to the right. And he's a yard shy of a first. But the defense for the Owls stood tall on that run by Jesse Johnson that resulted in the fumble that ended the last Raider drive, got the Owls the football back.
3rd and 1 from the 39.
You think you see an RPO on this play? 3rd and 1? They've only put it in the air once. I mean, have you ran it enough and had enough success inside to maybe get one?
I would think it'd be a run for certain. It's a more deliberate give this time. Coleman, he's got the first. I think when it's one of those plays, Jake, where you've got to have X, right? As long as X is a small number, 1, 2, 3 yards. I don't think some of these more non-traditional handoffs would happen.
Correct.
I think it's going to be a little more cut and dry.
Yeah.
Make sure the handoff is clean. Get him to the line of scrimmage quickly to try to find a hole rather than a bunch of motion behind the quarterback. This is a little more of the new style RPO. And close to the 45, and a massive humanity falls to the ground. But it's just a lot of plays for Windsor, a lot of time going off the board. And as long as you get 10 yards in 4 plays, they're almost playing like, hey, we're good. Like that's the game plan.
2nd and 7.
Set it down to Mike Reeves, partner.
Guys, are you watching this style of play, though, and watching the way this game's going? I look at the clock, and I went 4.5 to go in the second, and tried to figure out how in the world did Windsor give up 50? You can't score against them if you don't get the ball away from them.
Truth. Single wide out. Nice little misdirection there, though. Coleman, well, if he could have bounced that to the outside, may have had a really big play. Instead, here we go again with a 3rd and short. 9 plays on the opening drive for the Owls. That was the 9th play of this drive. We're coming up and we'll cross 4 minutes here before this ball snapped again. Yeah, you look at some of the numbers, Mike, that Windsor's given up. 64-52 in the last 2 weeks. Beat Clayton, but still gave up 32. And then 49 to Festus.
It just makes you think, is their offensive line just finally gotten that continuity with each other?
Cotton, right side after the fake to Coleman, and Patterson helps the officials, saying, go ahead and move them, we're good.
And he's picked up the 1st down. All at the 47-yard line.
But when you start looking at some of those teams that put up that amount of points on Windsor, they're pretty explosive, where one play could have went the distance no matter where they started with that drive. So, I mean, at least they're doing a good job controlling the ball tonight to keep, as we said, more points from North County's scoreboard off.
They'll go right side to Logan Wilson. Same plan of attack. But, Jake, we're coming up on 3 minutes. They've gone 50 yards in 6 minutes. It's taken them 6 minutes to go half the football field in a drive that started at their own 5. If this thing's going to end up in the end zone, they're going to have to ratchet up the offense a little bit more than what they're doing now.
I think at some point you do have that. You're in the 2-minute drill right now. You're trying to advance the ball. You've got to go 48 yards to get in there. You're going to have to pull out one of the plays you have if you are just that run dominant of a team.
Handoff. Again, a 3rd and minimal range coming up here. Call it 3rd and 2. Wilson on the carry, the junior, coming up on 2:20 remaining. That was the 12th play of the drive. We'll talk with Lee Freeman, head coach of the Windsor Owls, when we come back on the backside of halftime. Brian Jones, you'll hear from him first and shortly. 2:09 remaining in the half at a 3rd and 2. Luke Patterson signals first down again. Now they're really going to maybe have to up the tempo.
First down Owls.
I'll say this, it's been an impressive drive from the position of ball control, lack of penalties. It's been structured well. The only problem now is they're going to run out of clock. Patterson bouncing to the backfield and wrapped up and snuffed out. Tyler Pipkin was all over the legs of Willie Coleman. And now the Owls will have to burn a timeout. They've already used one. They used that in the opening minutes.
I think this is where you have to be really smart with your time management, though. A minute 32, you think you have a lot. We've talked, they've burnt almost, 7 minutes now? Close to 7 minutes, 6.5
7
minutes.
7.5, started at 9 even.
So you've only went 60 yards down the field. You really do have to be smart on what you call here, that or you get the ball outside, which they haven't ran many outside. They've had veer plays that busted from the C gap out to the D gap, but if you look at them, they've never gotten to that option phase. They've had options to pull it off of that veer play and then get to the second phase, what we call it, with the quarterback pulling it. But right now, you've got everybody sucked in. You've almost got 22 bodies inside the box, give or take, whenever they post a receiver out wide.
And wouldn't you think it would just be, I don't know if common sense is the right phraseology, but kind of what we talked about in the first quarter, you've got the Raider defense just anticipating all this stuff to the inside. It's only a matter of time before you think they'd try something to the outside, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and, we talked about those fast screens. There's lots of things you can do off this heavy run. With that one receiver out there, you're going to lull that corner to sleep. You're going to pull that safety in where you have an opportunity to pop one, but now is not necessarily the time. Now you just alerted your cornerback.
One wide in the formation. They're tight with Willie Coleman to the right. The handoff, no, it's an option, and fumble. Football's loose on the ground. The Owls dive on it, but disastrous on what was 2nd and 10 with only one timeout and $1:20 to go on the clock. Now it's 3rd and a bunch. 15th play of the drive. This is 16 coming with 70 seconds to go. On 3rd and 15.
And we just talked about the quarterback pulling, trying to get to that second and third phase of option, and that was a disaster for Windsor.
And even on 3rd and 15, they run it. Coleman may have lost it, and the Raiders, whose last drive ended on a fumble, may get the ball back with just under a minute in decent field position, but the officials say timeout North County, but 4th down on the board on the down clock, or down marker rather. Mike, did Windsor get that ball back down there?
They did not get the ball back, but the official from the near side came in and said, I've got him down by contact. I've got him down, ball's down. That's where the play ended.
Thank you, partner. Man on the sideline, Mike Reeves. So 4th down with 43 ticks. 7-0 North County. Raiders, after tonight, back here for their final regular season home game with St. Clair, and then wrap the season up at Sullivan. Windsor, this is their last road game. Fredericktown makes the trip to Imperial, and then Rochelle Township in week number 9.
It's kind of a tough situation with the amount of time left on the clock, knowing that North County's got timeouts left depending on what you decide to do here. I mean, if you try to pin them deep, you had a great punt. You may cough and corner them again, but
you're surprised they're going for it?
They're lined up to go for it.
Boy, nothing so far on the offense has said they can convert a 4th and 14. Nothing. Patterson going to stand and throw for the first time, but it's out in the flat. Bobbled, juggled, eventually caught. This is Wilson to the right side. Wilson dives, tries to extend the ball to the marker. And one of their biggest plays of the night on 4th and 14 might be just a couple yards shy with the clock at 35, and the Raiders going to get the football back.
I think if he doesn't bobble that, he had the corner off the get-go. He had that outside backer and that corner sucked in tight. He may have been able to get those extra few yards had he not bobbled the initial pass.
It has been 8.5 clock minutes since North County had the football. A 17-play drive ends on downs for the Windsor Owls. And so, as you mentioned, with timeouts, what do the Raiders try to do with a lot of green to traverse? McClure going to heave it downfield. He's got Goad. He's a little bit of contact. I don't want to say run into, but the ball hung up, and there definitely was contact. Brandon Palmy was the man who kind of ran up on Goad, who had to elevate and slow down and wait for the ball to get there.
That's one of those tough calls as a high school official now.
I agree.
The face guarding call, is there contact, is there not? I mean, that's one that kind of puts you in limbo if you're the official, especially with the time on the clock.
Incomplete on 2nd and 10 from their own 27. Raiders really spread it out here. 4 wide trips to the right. McClure straight over the middle, and Wisnowski, I don't know if he was trying to one-hand that or just knock it down to make sure nobody else got it.
It's 3rd and 10.
3rd down. Well, the Raiders have given this a shot here with only 35 seconds. 2 mid-range balls as far as depth down the field. Not short passes, but nothing all that lengthy.
I think this shows you have trust in your young quarterback, though. I mean, let 2 of them go 49 seconds back when you got the ball, and then you've went 24 seconds left on the clock here. I mean, you're giving them a chance to move the ball.
There's a little swing pass to the right. That's going to be caught by Brady Duncan, and he's wrapped up out of bounds with 15 left on the clock at the 44. Well, we told you that Brady McClure only 307 yards passing coming in the first 6 weeks of the season. McClure on 1st and 10. 3 to the left side this time. He rolls and looks that way. Now he goes deep down the left sideline. He's got separation, and Go just couldn't get hands on a football that would have been a touchdown if he catches it. Well, it looked like Go just slowed down ever so slightly when he kind of got to the outside of the receiver and then saw, oh, I got to go and I can catch this, and just left his defender, but then not enough in the tank to catch up with the football.
It almost makes you think that maybe he didn't think he was going to throw him the ball the way he took those 1 or 2 steps. Those 1 or 2 steps made all the difference. He slowed down for just that fuzz of a second, and that cost him because it was right over the edge of his fingertips.
How much is a fuzz of a second?
That's
about
small. About that.
2nd and 10 from the 44. It's been all passes on this drive so far. McClure chased over the middle, has a man. 3 seconds to go. This should wrap the half. He tries to get down and call timeout, but 0's on the board, and that's it. It was caught by Landon Carroll, and the Raiders. Now the officials are going to talk about this on the clock. So hold the phone. Boy, if they put a second on, the football's at the 39. Oh, this is interesting. It's a big call, Jake.
It is, and I actually think this is the right call. From what I saw, he was down, and Brian Jones, the whistle was blown, and he was on the sideline calling timeout. Personally, from my standpoint, it was 1 second left.
They're going to put a second on the clock, and I'm looking across the field at Lee Freeman.
Timeout with 1 second remaining on the clock.
He's not chewing the ear of an official yet. He's letting his assistant do that, and the Raiders are going to get 1 crack at this from the Windsor 39. And so Mike Reeves has to hang on an extra heartbeat before we hear from Brian Jones.
Guys, I don't know if you had me up or not, but I think that's a perfect call. I think it was 1 second. I turned around and looked at the time the timeout was called. There was time on the clock.
So 1st and 10 from the 39. Final play of the half, barring a defensive penalty. Well, McClure has shown the ability to throw this thing fairly deep. They like this trips formation. They've got it to the wide side of the field this time. Carroll, single wide out to the right.
Maybe a double post here because that center's wide open if that safety doesn't take both of them.
McClure over the middle, through the hands of Carroll, and that will be the half. So one crack from the 39 amounts to nothing. The opening drive, the only points on the board. And the Raiders, a 7-0 lead at half, on a half that takes 44 real-world minutes. Noah Lashley's 3-yard touchdown run, the only points of the half, and we take it field level to Mike Reeves.
Well, Coach, what do you see in that first half? It was a very interesting half from our perspective.
Frustration. We drive the ball down the field. We let a punt get behind us, and we turn around. We drive the ball all the way down the field to the 5 and turn it and freaking fumble. And then we got receivers open that either we can't hit, we underthrow, or then they decide they're not going to run very hard, and then they get overthrown or they get covered. So, yeah, frustration.
Talk to you after the game, and good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
Guys, right back up to you, and I think what you noticed on that pass pattern is exactly what Coach Jones noticed there.
Mike, did that comment surprise you, partner? The guys, what I heard there was guys kind of giving up on plays, and I don't want to say quitting on plays, but not the max effort.
And I think a lot of it had to do with that pass play down the sideline where you guys noted, hey, I think, he didn't expect it or didn't play it the same way. I don't know exactly what he was thinking on the route. And then beyond that, I didn't think about the punt play, but the punt that rolls out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Well, guys, he said we let it get past it. We're not supposed to play it that way. We played that wrong. And then the fumble's a fumble. Those are frustrating. Mm-hmm. You don't want them, but those frustrate you. So I think all that being said, frustrating half, but a 7-0 lead.
Well, Windsor Owls would take it. I would think down 7-0 to the North County Raiders at the break, coming in a team they hadn't beaten in 9 years. Wouldn't you, if you're Lee Freeman, you're going to get the ball to start the second half? I mean, if you just told Coach Freeman and the Owls, hey, coming into this one at the half, you're going to be down one score. I don't care if it's 42-35 or 7-0. I think you take that.
Oh, by all means you take that. And, I mean, you did a great job. You came in, you stripped the ball on what was probably going to be a touchdown series there that marched the field. But if you're Lee, I mean, this is a great job by your young program that you've taken over in your first year. They did a great job defensively. Yes, they gave up yards, but they didn't give up the big play. They never gave up the big play. So some of those small little trickling factors are going to mount for the second half, but you can't wear it down because that North County offensive line was giving that defensive line of Windsor everything they wanted.
Ready to roll up your sleeves and dive into a hands-on career? Middle College is ready for you. Their Mac Tech industry and technology programs all about getting to work and making things happen. Welding, HVAC, construction, auto tech, and more. Take the first step to building a fulfilling career at a Mac Tech program. Apply today at middlearea.edu. The Southeast Missouri Mental Health Halftime Show is upon us. 7-0 Raiders. The Ranger Regiment has taken the field, and North County on top here over Windsor in Week 7 on Parkland Sports Live.
The field is yours.
Yeah.
Consistency. The great teams have it, and the good teams want it. For the North County Raiders this season.
Ready to roll up your sleeves and dive into a hands-on career? Mineral Area College is ready for you. Their Mac Tech industry and technology programs are all about getting to work and making things happen. Whether you thrive on fixing, building, or just plain problem solving, they've got a pathway for you. Welding, HVAC, auto tech, construction, and more. You'll gain the practical skills and real-world experience needed to thrive in today's job market. Take the first step to a fulfilling career in a Mac Tech program. Apply today at mineralarea.edu.
The Department of Mental Health for the state of Missouri is seeking an advanced practice nurse to fill a position on their East-Southeast Regional Forensics Mobile Team. This position includes daytime travel, a flexible work schedule with remote work options available, at a salary of $130,000 annually, and tremendous benefits. This opening will not last long. To apply for the advanced practice nurse position or any other with the Department of Mental Health, please call 573-218-6800 or go to dmh.mo.gov. The state of Missouri is an equal opportunity employer. We celebrate diversity and are committed to creating an inclusive environment for all employees.
At Belgrade State Bank, we're proud to support our local students. For over a century, we've been more than just a bank. We're part of the community. By investing in our youth, we help build a brighter future, from the classroom to the field. We're here to support our students every step of the way. Belgrade State Bank, proud supporters of our local schools and the next generation. A wise place to do business.
Parkway Self-Storage is open and ready for you, with 10x15 and 5x10 units for rent, along with outside storage options for RVs, campers, boats, and cars. Parkway Self-Storage is equipped with a security gate and 24-hour surveillance with month-to-month contracts, conveniently located off Parkway Drive in Park Hills. Call or text 573-366-0900. That's 573-366-0900. Or log on to parkwayselfstorage.org and reserve and make payments online. Owners Seth and Molly Meyer invite you to Parkway Self-Storage.
Phelan Boutique is a full-service salon, spa, and tanning destination on Woodlawn Drive in Leadington. Phelan has the exclusive Cocoon Wellness Pro-Red infrared therapy, which helps you fight aging, reduce stress, and recover from your workout faster. This luxury therapy is also affordable with infrared and tanning packages starting as low as $54 a month. They also offer massage by Mike. And of course, their upscale salon has experienced stylists who can give you a new look for the perfect fall. Owners Mike and Heather Probst invite you to see yourself at Phelan Boutique in Leadington.
For over 60 years, Odell's Dance Center has been a staple of the Deloge community. They offer classes ranging from beginners to advanced, and all at their state-of-the-art location on Lincoln Street. At Odell's Dance Center, your child will work with the most experienced group of instructors who encourage your child to shine, no matter their ability. Follow their Facebook page or log on to odellsdance.com to find out more. Odell's Dance Center, where every student is a star.
A1 Home Care, the #1 choice for home care services. We offer non-skilled nursing, in-home care, consumer direct, and adult day habilitation services. A1 Home Care will tailor the care plan to meet your needs. We serve 14 counties in southeast Missouri. We hire reliable and trustworthy individuals to perform the care you need and deserve. A1 Home Care has been voted Best of the Parkland for 3 years in a row. We are the heart of home care in the heartland.
Go Raiders!
In a blink of an eye, some moments can change everything. While you can't always predict them, you can plan for them. For 96 years, generations of families have chosen Farmers Insurance Company to help protect their most valuable assets and give them peace of mind. Be sure to talk to Carla or Lene at Deborah Scott Insurance Agency today. See how they can help cover your present and safeguard your family's future as they put your budget and your family needs first to best protect you. What's in your insurance? We are Farmers. 636-937-3200.
Ready to roll up your sleeves and dive into a hands-on career? Mineral Area College is ready for you. Their Mac Tech industry and technology programs are all about getting to work and making things happen. Whether you thrive on fixing, building, or just plain problem solving, they've got a pathway for you. Welding, HVAC, auto tech, construction, and more. You'll gain the practical skills and real-world experience needed to thrive in today's job market. Take the first step to a fulfilling career in a Mac Tech program. Apply today at mineralarea.edu.
Second place for sophomores, the winner of the float building competition is...
Week number 7 of the high school football season. Whitener, Mike Reeves, our entire crew will hear from Lee Freeman coming up in a matter of moments when the Owls return to the field. Our Mike Reeves standing by, waiting to talk to the first-year head coach of the Owls. Number of seasons in Hillsboro. The Hawks in a dogfight tonight with DeSoto. Of course, it's all part of the Southeast Missouri Mental Health Halftime Show, providing mental health services since 1903. In Farmington, serving over 350 patients with over 1,000 employees, one of the largest employers in St. Francis County, actually, and growing. Find out how you can become part of their family by scheduling an interview today at dmh.mo.gov or call 573-218-6800. Also, thanks a number of our sponsors. Nuvo Athletic representative Tia Cunningham, Odell Dance Studio, where every student is a star. A1 Home Care, voted best home care service of the Parkland. And Pizza 101 in the world-famous Bonne Terre. 7-0 here. Scoring recap won't take long. Raiders got the opening kickoff and a 10-play, 60-yard drive, 3 minutes, 52 seconds, and it ended up to be a Noah Lashley 3-yard touchdown run, and that is the only points on the board as the Raiders led it 7-0 at the 8:05 mark of quarter number 1, and that is it. The Owls have had a number of lengthy drives. Their opening drive went 9 plays, resulted in a punt. They've only had 2 offensive series, the other 17 plays, but they turned it over on downs on, I believe, Jake, their only pass of the night. That turned out to be one of their biggest yardage plays of the night, but fell just about 2 yards shy of a first down. Raiders have had the football 3 times. The Noah Lashley touchdown in the opening series, drive 2, 13 yards. The Jesse Johnson fumble that allowed Windsor to start a drive at their own 5, and then they ran into the half in their 3rd offensive series. So the Owls will get the football first, and I still think Windsor's sitting at a pretty good spot. I mean, you've milked a ton of time off the clock. If we had the time of possession thing that TV does a lot, right, all the numbers, it would be way lopsided towards the guys out of Imperial. Obviously, what counts the most is the points on the scoreboard, but Windsor, for the most part, has been able to maintain that slow progression down the field. Now they'll start with a fresh half to kind of do whatever they want. But they're going to have to put points on the board at some point.
Yeah, I think this is the series you have to do it. You have to come out of half, and you've got to be willing to, eat that clock. But along with eat that clock, you're going to have to wind up taking some pops downfield. You're going to have to take a few shots here, take some pressure off the inside the tackles, because only twice have they actually gotten the ball outside. That swing pass that had it not been bobbled probably was going to be a first down. And then the second time they tried getting the ball outside the tackle, they pulled on a veer play. QB was looking for that third phase, never even secured it off the initial pull. I think if you're Windsor, yes, there are victories, but now it's time to get gritty. You've ran inside tackles. You're going to have to open up your playbook if you're Coach Freeman just a little bit more.
Well, the Owls looking for their first win over North County since October 3rd of 2014, a 28-27 victory that day. If you want to go back even farther, the Raiders have won 21 of 24. The only other Owl wins in that stretch, they've won in 2002 and 2006. Their 3 wins have come by a combined 5 points. So anytime this series has been a blowout, it has been all North County. The 3 Windsor wins have all been very tight. 7-0 at the half. North County leads Windsor. Both clubs 3-3, both clubs in the same district. Right now the Owls at the bottom of that stack. Our Mike Reeves standing by with the lead man of the Windsor Owls, Lee Freeman.
Thank you, guys. What are your general thoughts on that first half? You take what you've done, you ran the ball very well, you got the turnover. Generally happy with what you saw?
Yeah, I'm proud of our effort. We let one get away from us there, and we know this is going to be a competitive football game. And we had a few hiccups there. Had to call a timeout early just to get lined up, make sure we're in the right spot. And I think once we settled in, we've been playing relatively well on both sides. You know, we had a little offside penalty there and put the ball on the ground once. So, you know, we got to overcome those mistakes. But you know, hopefully in the second half here we can get some things rolling.
Without giving away too much, are you pretty comfortable that you could run the football and continue to be effective?
Yeah, I think so. I think we made a few adjustments there at halftime that we'll see, you know, how they counter that, and you know, we're going to continue to do what we do. So you know, I'm proud of the effort of our kids right now, and they're playing hard, and obviously, you know, we're taking the best shot that North County has right now, but it's their homecoming, and you know, they're juiced up, so that's good. But I think overall a good half of high school football.
We will see you after the game.
Thank you.
That is Lee Freeman. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. And the Raiders with a 7-0 lead here at the break. How do you approach a quarterback? And I don't know if it was specifically your tour of duty at Fredericktown, but there's another school that tends to rely heavily on the ground game. Historically, I'm talking the last 24 years, right? Fredericktown's had way more teams that are ground-oriented than throw it through the air. If you've got a quarterback coming in that 6 weeks has only thrown 106 total yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception, how comfortable, I'm not saying confident, but how comfortable are you that in a spot where you've got to have the guy throw the football, he can do it?
Well, I think it all comes down to how much you trust your offensive line. You know, that's the biggest thing. If you watch what McClure is doing, they're doing a lot of what we call rodeo lassos. They're rolling him from the pocket where he's not going to have to stand there and just have to go through his read progressions down the field. They're doing a great job getting him outside the pocket where he has enough time to see the field. Usually if it's a rollout, you only have a 2-target system. So you look for 1, you look for 2. If not there, pull the ball and run. I think what they're doing now is great by Coach Jones and this offensive staff, and I know he has a tremendous quarterback coach in Wyatt Compton with who he has the ability to work with. I think they're doing a great job now setting up for what they have to do in districts.
Other games around the area tonight, you've got St. Pius hosting Miller Career Academy, Crystal City at Duchesne, Bayless at Herculaneum, Lindbergh goes to Fox, Jackson at Sykeston, Cuba at St. Vincent, Farmington with a big one tonight just down the road from here as they play host to Cape Central. We'll see the Knights in our broadcast games here on Parkland Sports Live each of the next 2 weeks. They'll host Festus in week number 8, go to Park Hills in 9. You've got West Plains at Poplar Bluff. Dexter travels to Kennett, Grandview hosting Jefferson, Central's at Valley Catholic, DeSmet at Festus. Hillsboro and DeSoto still in a tight one at the Dragon's Lair, Potosi at Pacific, and Fredericktown at St. Jan, all part of the Week 7 slate. If you look at district standings, boy, Festus did themselves a huge favor last week in the throttling of these Raiders 31-0. A standalone team atop the district standings, 10 points clear of their nearest chasers, which are Perryville. Hillsboro's 3rd, the Raiders sit 4th, then you've got DeSoto, Sykeston, and Windsor. It's interesting, though, 2 through 7 in a 7-team field. 2 through 7 are only separated by 17 points. Well, chip kickoff ends up out of bounds, and so the Owls will get good field position to start half 2.
the 42-yard line.
I'm not sure I remember a half of football where one team only had the ball twice.
Spotted at the 35-yard line.
I remember one, and this was Festus Farmington just a few years ago.
That's not a game I would have picked for one team to have two.
And that's what would blow your mind, that Farmington controlled out of the 24 minutes of game clock. They had the ball for 19 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh.
They did their best to limit what that offense from Festus could do that year. Second half, different story. First half.
I don't understand.
Final score of that game, do you remember?
Nah, I don't.
Oh, okay.
We're not going to relive that one.
1st and 10 Owls from their own 47. Patterson goes to Coleman. He'll break the midfield stripe and not much more than that.
Jackson Sherp is on the tackle.
I'm not saying this is all the offense can do, but it just appears now that we've watched a half plus in one play of football here. Be content with 4 yards of play. If we get 4 yards of play, we're good, right?
Well, and you have to, if we went back and looked, there's not many plays that were made in the Windsor backfield. I mean, they're doing a good job in plus yards. I mean, don't break if it's not broke, don't fix it. But
Tristan Cotton to the right side, and he thought he would have some room out there, but that got swallowed up quickly.
Initial contact on the
and 3rd and 4 coming here.
I think it goes back to what Coach Freeman said at halftime, though. They made their few adjustments. How are they going to counter it? You know, that's the chess game that a lot of people don't understand. Your halftime adjustments are usually your most crucial, but you have to understand that other team is doing the exact same to see what they can kind of counter you with.
Willie Coleman, 573 yards in the ground. He's got 7 touchdowns. This is a straight-ahead give this time. That's Logan Wilson. Wilson has rushed for 699 yards. He's their leading rusher. He's got 8 touchdowns, and he's got enough for another Owl first down, just shy of the 40. As a team, in 6 weeks, Windsor has racked up 1,864 yards, averaging 6 yards a carry. Well, that average isn't up to snuff tonight, but here's Coleman to the outside. He's got a field of blue running him down. He finally goes out of bounds.
On the carry, forced out of bounds by Dylan Wisnowski.
But it's been good enough to control tempo, control clock, as you pointed out quickly in their first drive, keep the Raider offense off the field, right? And keep this a manageable game. You start in the 3rd quarter down 1 score.
Well, and what they're doing right now is something they didn't do in the first half. They've tested the outside on this drive 2 times already, which is going to be crucial because now you're going to open up for your fullback dive back inside.
Patterson with Cotton in motion. They go straight ahead on the give to Logan Wilson on what was 2nd and short after the initial first down play. That was a good run by Coleman. That's 5 plays in this drive, and here we are sitting 3rd and manageable. That's another thing, not playing behind the sticks. Everything's been 3rd and short. The only one that wasn't 3rd and short was the series Patterson right about this spot of the field late in the first half. Got dropped for a loss. It resulted in what was the 4th down play, their only pass. It was 3rd and 13, 14-ish. Here, 3rd and 2. Wilson again. The pile pushes. He reaches the 30. 6 plays, 2 first downs, move the sticks again, and just keep eating that clock.
Also in on that stop was Kyle Pennington, and that results in a first down for the Owls at the Raider 30.
Raiders 4-7 last year, the Owls 4-6. Windsor has won all-time 7 district titles, their last one coming in 2011. They lost to Gateway Tech when we had the regional round. Here's Coleman to the outside, gains 3. That was their most recent district crown. They also won one in 2010. Greg Westermeyer was in his first 2 years as leading this Owl program as head coach, both times going out in the regionals. In fact, Windsor as a program has never won a state playoff game of any kind. 7 district titles, 0-7 in state play. Raiders, a little different story. 2nd down and 7. They got a Cotton to the right. He's wrapped up quickly by a hard-charging junior Landon Carroll. Raiders with 12 district crowns, a second-place finish in the state, 3/3. They're 11-12 all-time in state play. Their most recent title coming in 21. Their first one coming in 73. Windsor's first one came 4 years after that in 77. Here's third and medium, third and a long 5. Coleman. The push with the pile is going to help a little bit, but they're still short of the yard to gain, so fourth down coming here. And you would absolutely think they would go for it. They bring Brandon Palmy back on the field, the sophomore.
I'm not going to predict this play because I don't think you run this, but if out of what the formation they've had, anytime that they bring the man in motion towards the receiver side of the field, the corner blitzes off the backside that if it was a naked bootleg, it could be a stroll into the end zone with nobody knowing who has the ball.
Quick handoff inside this time. Raiders trying to stack it up. He needed the 20. The officials come right in on the 20 on the give to Wilson. And Shelton Sago says first down.
Lashley also in on that stop. First down, Owls.
You said that man in motion goes to the wide receiver side?
Yeah, if he goes to the wide receiver
would roll
side,
out the other way?
He would come back from the motion side, whatever side he sends motion into. So in this situation, if he sent this wing in motion, he would roll back this side because watch this nub corner blitzes off the outside.
Quick give Coleman. Trying to follow some blockers. He's got some decent space to the outside. He's inside the 15. Mike Reeves downfield level. What do you got, partner?
Are you guys not in some ways impressed and kind of blown away with the patience required to run this offense? When you can say, we'll get 3 there, 2 there, 4 there, go for it on fourth down, get 2 more, we're good. I mean, it's remarkable to me how patient that they've been with the ball, knowing we're okay if it takes 18 plays to get down the field, we'll do it.
Well, I'm glad this penalty happened now, and you kept talking through it, because my most impressive thing has been, Mike, in all these drives, 9-play drive, 17-play drive, they've done virtually nothing to shoot themselves in the foot. It's hard in any level of football to go 17 plays in a drive and have it turn out to anything. And at the high school level, Windsor's done that tonight, all these lengthy drives without picking up penalties. Well, there's one right there. So that wasn't on me, by the way. Patterson to the right side this time on 1st and 15-14. And he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage just inside the 20. But that, Mike, to answer your question, I have been impressed with the patience. I've been more impressed with the cohesiveness and the mistake-free atmosphere they've been playing up until that illegal use of the hands on the 2 plays ago. We've wiped off half the third quarter. They've taken it inside the red zone. And not much farther on that carry from Willie Coleman.
Mike, I was just waiting for that play to go to answer your question. Here's what I think whenever you have an offense like this. You have teams who have maybe struggled offensively in the past, and whenever you have those offenses that it's hard to move the ball, you go to something like this and you have to teach that poise to be able just to maintain blocks, because it's not a huge, learning deficit here that you're looking into to have a run-heavy offense like this. But what it does is it does exactly what this scenario is doing. It milks the clock. It gives the opposite team less possessions to where you don't find yourself in those 32, 35-0 deficits at halftime. So you teach your offense, this type of offense, to make sure that your athletes are able to withstand and build some confidence moving the ball down the field.
That penalty's on me. I'll take that one. I'm not taking the one before it. 2nd down to 14. Boy. Just as I start talking about it, now it's been 3 flags in the last 6 plays that they've tried to run, and the Owls now going the wrong way.
It'll be 2nd and 19.
And now you get in that situation I posed to you just after halftime, when you are in a scenario where it is a chunk yardage, gotta have it type situation on now 2nd and 19. UK can run it on this play, but barring a huge gain like they haven't gotten yet tonight, you would foresee maybe the second pass of the night coming shortly. How confident are you in Luke Patterson to get the job done? Coleman's going to try his hand at it, but not much. He can't escape Pipkin, who's in the backfield to wrestle him down. So now 3rd and extremely long for the Windsor Owls.
Well, I think at some point you have to express the fact that we are going to have to put this ball downfield. You're in a situation where you're losing 7-0. You've wasted over half the third quarter clock. You're not guaranteed how many possessions you're going to have. You only have 2 in the first half. You may only have 1 more possession in this game. You've got to put points on the board. You've got to do something, even if that's a simple screen game. You know, it's not a drastic pass downfield, but allow that offense to let them come through, slip a screen, but you're also looking at 3rd and 20, so you're going to have something to go 21 yards.
Patterson on 3rd and long. Looks downfield to the only man in the formation. He's got a read on it. He's got the catch. And down at the 1. Single coverage to the outside. Kyle Haneke, the junior, made the catch. Got some separation late. And it was a beautiful pass by Luke Patterson. So comfort level's good.
I think it's almost like you and I are like forecasting things here. We talk about penalties, it goes negative. We forecast penalties. We talk about a pass downfield. Now it's just whether they can punch it in or not.
Guys, you see a ball thrown like that, and you're sitting there wondering, why aren't they throwing it a little more often? That was a spectacular throw.
Patterson with a single back behind him, and now he gets help back there. Patterson takes it himself, spins and pushed back at the goal line, and did not get in.
The quarterback Heath taken down short of the goal line. Paul Mullins on the stop for the Raiders.
But, Mike, I think in an offense like this, to answer your question why you don't pass more, I think it's taken that much time off the clock of that methodical approach, that monotonous of we're run, that's all we're going to do, to suck them in deep enough to where you can throw that pass, even though it's 3rd and 20 and you have to anticipate a pass is coming.
Charlie Gabriel on the right end of the line of scrimmage. Patterson gives it. Coleman noses in towards the goal line. Touchdown. Windsor gets exactly what they wanted to start the second half. Coleman, his 8th rushing touchdown of the season. It took a while, as we knew it would, to go all the way down the field. Time off the clock, points on the board, and an extra point away from tying it up. 17-play drive. And Willie Coleman able to put it in the end zone with 3:35 remaining in the third. This is the first possession of the second half, and now the Owls will play for the lead and go for 2. Patterson from the 2. Coleman in motion. Gets the take. Outside. Trying to break tackles. Gets close to the goal line. Did not get in. Did not make it. Coleman thought he did. But the men that matter most say the Raider defense holds.
An absolute gutsy 2-point play, though. I mean, Coleman, though, like how many times did he bounce it outside? Just trying to get in. Great effort by the kid. And I mean, it was close. I mean, you'd have to be down. I don't know if Mike was on that end zone line or that, but man, that was extremely close.
Hey, Jake, I'll leave it at this. Had the arms gone up, I wouldn't have been surprised either. Had they elected to say he was short, I'm not going to say I was surprised by that. It was that close. If they would have put arms up for 2, I would not have had a complaint with it whatsoever. But the odd thing is, I also don't have a complaint that they marked him just a tad short. It was that close. We needed the replays of the higher levels of the sport on that one, because that one was hard to tell by the naked eye.
Don't even start, Michael. Don't start.
use our replay. It'd be something that we could provide. we could put it out there for them, because I'm telling you right now, that's one that with the naked eye was almost a coin toss, at least from my perspective. I was on the other side of the field, a little more difficult to see it from the Windsor sideline, but I had no idea. I was just waiting for officials like everybody else did.
Onside kick. This is loose. This is free ball. Windsor's on it. They recover it with Caden Williams. It bounced off a Raider up man and recovered by Williams close to the 48. Lee Freeman at his finest.
Kick is successful. The Owls have recovered the onside kick.
17-play drive for the scoring drive that takes 8:25 off the clock and goes 53 yards. It's their second 17-play drive of the night, and this one had all those penalties in it, guys.
And fellas, that ball wasn't going to go 10 yards. But it was touched at about the 7 or 8 yard mark of the kick. And again, North County, I don't think had any idea that was coming, and Windsor pulled a rabbit right out of the hat.
1st and 10, Owls offense right back on the field, keeping that North County defense off there as well. Looked like a give to Logan Wilson. He'll maybe get 2.
Well, this is something to consider, fellas. With how much time Windsor took off the clock on that first drive, they have the ball back, and we've seen that they can milk it. If it goes the same distance, North County doesn't get the ball back until almost halfway through the fourth quarter. So now you're talking, you got to start stripping the ball. You got to have some words with your defense here. We got to get this ball back at all costs, because we may not get the ball back this half.
2nd and 8, right for the midfield stripe. Patterson in the offense of the Owls to Wilson to the right side. No, it's to Cotton on the extreme outside.
Jackson Sheriff is on the tackle for the Raiders.
And so 3rd and
Picked up about a yard.
make it 7.
It's 3rd and 7. Ball just across.
Our coverage tonight brought to you by Belgrade State Bank, a wise place to do business. Odell's Dance Center, where every student is a star. Phelan Boutique, Salon Spa and Tanning. BetterHelp.com/The Barn, and Nuvo Athletic representative Tia Cunningham. 3rd and 7. Movement by the Raiders after Willie Coleman came in motion, and that will make it 3rd and 2, which is exactly what the Owls have been in most of the night.
That's not what you want to see from this North County sideline. That you can't allow them that. Yes, they have them moving the clock, but you can't move the ball for them along with the clock.
3rd and 2. 2:08 and rolling in the 3rd, and the Raider offense has not touched the football in this quarter. They come Coleman, he bounces back inside, he's got the first down, and then swallowed up in a massive humanity. And a couple of more plays, and the Owls will have owned the entire 3rd set of 12 minutes. Farmington Festus, our broadcast affair for you next week in Week 8 on Parkland Sports Live. And then in Week 9, we'll see Eric Krupe and the Knights again in Park Hills against Corey Schweiss and the Central Rebels. I thought it was interesting. We did that mid-season report. Chad Speaker, yourself, yours truly, and Mike Reeves. We were talking about the 2 multiple overtime games that Central had in the first half of the season. Patterson on a fake handoff, then a keep. And then Park Hills comes right back out in Game 6 and has to go with another extremely lengthy game.
Well, and the wear and tear that team's taken. I mean, just to make it through.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about overtimes. It's not a true quarter of football, but if it were, they're at plus a game and a quarter. You know, I mean, those Central Rebels, they put on some shows this year offensively and defensively. But man, what a wear and tear it's taken on that team.
2nd down and 7. Pick up 4 or 5 on that play. And one more play can take us to the end of the 3rd, and the Raiders have not touched the ball. I talked with Brian Jones before the game, and I asked him how his season has been. They went to Rolla, picked up a big win there, started with the win here over Farmington. He said everything's been a chore. Everything's just been hard to get going. And even the good things that have happened have been hard. Add this one to the mix. There's been nothing easy tonight. Ball may have come out near the 30
On the exchange.
On the handoff for Windsor and the Raiders, they'll touch the football with 10 seconds to go in the third for the first time in the second half.
Raiders take over 1st and 10 on their own 31-yard line.
Holy smoke.
Well, coming in, if you looked at the numbers, you sort of expected this from Windsor, right? 2 guys over 500 yards on the ground. Landon Robbins, 334 yards on the ground. 2 other guys over 100 yards, almost 2,000 yards rushing, and a quarterback that had thrown just 106 through the air. They were going to run the football tonight. This is lastly for the Raiders on the ground, but there's flags on the play.
Noah Lashley on the carry.
And I kind of have now Mike in my head, which is never a good thing, when he asked, are we impressed with the patience of this offense to just accept? We got 3, we got 4, we got 2, we got 5. Like, we're good with that. You can't argue with what they've done so far tonight.
You can't argue when they took 11 minutes and 50 seconds out of the third quarter. I mean, on one drive, I don't know what to say on that. They took 11 minutes and 50 seconds off to leave 10 seconds in the third quarter for North County to finally get the ball back.
1st and 15 after the procedure call. Handoff Lashley, tripped up shy of the original marker, and that is the third. North County runs a single offensive play in the third quarter. Windsor, the 1-yard touchdown run by Willie Coleman after a 17-play drive, the onside kick, but that drive stalls on a fumble. It is a 1-point game to the 4th. Raiders trying to win their 10th straight over the Owls. North County in front, 7-6. They got us rocking and rolling at the Deloge VFW. We appreciate them having us on tonight here on Parkland Sports Live. Don't forget, Knuckleball Primetime pregame show gets you underway each and every week. Gives you great local and national sports content. If you're into it, we're into it. Watch for new uploads brought to you, as always, by the Barn Media Group. Knuckleball Primetime, and we're so thrilled to be part of their coverage and programs this season. Raiders on offense from their own 25. Lashley maybe 5.
Lashley on the carry. Tackle made by Logan.
Ready to roll up your sleeves and dive into a hands-on career. Middle Area College is ready for you. Their Mac Tech industry and technology programs are all about getting to work and making things happen. Welding, construction, audio tech, HVAC, and more. Take the first steps to a fulfilling career in a Mac Tech program. Apply today at middlearea.edu as one of the Windsor Owls is down. Looks like a cramp. 7-6 North County. Their opening drive of the football game, Noah Lashley, a 3-yard touchdown run. For Lashley, his second on the ground this year to result in points. And then the Owls come back a couple of drives ago. Willie Coleman from a yard, his 8th on the ground. He came in with 573 yards rushing. I know you watched the replay, our camera shot on the 2-point conversion. Your consensus?
I agree with Mike. It goes either way. It depends on where the official saw, if there was a body in the... I mean, it was that close.
It's whatever they called in the field, not enough to overturn it?
No. Not substantial evidence.
11:44 to go, quarter 4. Week 7, couple of 3-3 teams matched up tonight. Again, those district standings, Festus has a 10-point lead over Perryville. There's only a 12-point differential between the 2 and 6 teams in that district. Windsor rounds out the pack at 3-3, the record. With Fredericktown and Rochelle Township yet to go, Festus has just 2 road games left, Farmington and Jackson. We just went to the pit a couple of weeks ago with the Farmington Knights. It'll be interesting to see Eric Krupe's bunch eat to the next 2 weeks. The injured Owl, Evan Wessels. Sykeston since just in front of Windsor. They've got New Madrid and a road trip to Charleston coming. This is all after tonight. And DeSoto, who's in a fight with Hillsborough tonight. Boy, that would throw a curveball in the mix if the Dragons can pull off the victory in that one with Rush Schmidt and company. They go to Potosi next week and then host a struggling Herculaneum bunch. All right, back to work, 11:44 to go in the 4th. McClure, swing pass right side, caught, and real estate for Goad. Stop and go move on the sidelines, getting it close to the 50.
Landon Carroll on the reception.
You know, if you're Windsor, you can't have that. They just run a go route on the outside. The second guy sits in the flats, and nobody expands to him. No outside linebacker play to cut off that flat. You can't give up that many yards when you're down 1 point in the 4th quarter.
So fresh set of downs for the sophomore Brady McClure and the Raider offense at their own 48. They can put the Owls in a spot. If they can put points on the board, they hand off. This is Goad near side, tripped up, not much of anything.
Tackle made by Logan Wilson.
Well, it's been lack of possessions for North County. And the one really promising drive, other than the one that resulted in the touchdown, Jesse Johnson with the fumble down inside the 5. That was a drive killer. But a North County offense that's been able to put points on the board this year. Landon Whitfield takes that carry. Pretty good chunk play there down to the 45. It'll leave it 3rd and 2. But just 7 points on the board in the 4th quarter. Minute and a half gone by in the 4th.
I think you're doing a double justice to yourself here. You're moving the ball. You're sitting at a 3rd and 3. You get a first down here. You don't have to score quick because you don't want one of those drives that maybe leads to a 2-point attempt. You know, if Windsor does have a chance to march the field again. So take as much time off the clock as you can if you're North County.
Whitfield again. He goes down right on the marker. And I would think good enough to move the chains. They'll eyeball this one, and they will call for the sticks. It'll bring up 4th down. If it's short. One of the most archaic ways to measure anything in sports these days. Got to be a better way to do this. The Owls are applauding it as short for 4th down.
Short by inches.
I mean, we could project lines to gain on the field on TV of where the first down is. Like, can't we do something different than this?
Go with the Happy Gilmore approach.
Technology, you know, with lasers and stuff.
Just kind of lean and check it, but then you realize you only have one shoe on, so you're off balance.
The police could issue me a traffic ticket from a million miles away.
Right.
No, they know how fast I was going. Come on. There's got to be a better way.
4th down. McClure, they'll have enough here on a handoff. Lashley takes it over the 40. And so the drive continues on 4th and short. Well, that was a tall ask for Windsor's defense. It's interesting to me that both teams have had about, maybe North County a little bit better, but about the same approach and level of success running the ball.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of the guys on the lines are the same guys. This is Whitfield. He'll gain 4.
Whitfield on the carry.
32 on this side.
I think the only difference between them, though, is North County's had, a little bit better gaps to get through. The offensive line's made those, but then the secondary level of Windsor's cut down for those 5 yards maybe, whereas Windsor's had to, get some extra yardage after contact to get those 4 yards per rush, but both teams are just content. Just run the ball. But if you're Windsor right now, you got to look. You take a lot of time off the clock with each drive, and you're getting down to 8 minutes and 50 seconds left right now. You got to make a stand or get this ball back.
I don't think the Raiders are as clock controlled and clock concerned as what Windsor's been so far tonight. I think the Raiders could score a touchdown. They'd score it now. They're just good with it.
Charlie Gabriel.
I don't think they've gotten caught up so much in this. We're going to really limit possessions of this football game as much as we possibly can. I don't think that's their MO. Brady McClure on 3rd and a long one. Going to keep it himself and get the push easily for the first down. 10th play of this Raider drive. And another chunk coming off the clock as they continue to milk that thing inside of 8 minutes by the time the ball snapped next.
I was watching that QB sneak, and I was just curious, flashbacks, and I know Mike's probably chuckling right now that, we had that random call last week of aiding the runner in a QB sneak situation. So it's just, every time I see that now, I start thinking, okay, what's the true rule on this play? What are we going to get?
Don't ask Corey Schweiss. McClure. Lashley tripped up and spun down, hit in the hole by Logan Wilson. He did flip forward for a pickup of a couple. Inside of 7.5 to go in this one. Our coverage tonight, Hub's Pub and Grill, just down the road in Bonne Terre. Parkway Self-Storage, Parkway Drive in 67. And Nuvo Athletic representative Tia Cunningham. Also, Pizza 101 in the world-famous Bonne Terre. 2nd down and a long 8. McClure's going to pass, rolls out. He's got a man in the flat. It's Lashley. He's open to the 15. Lashley trying to fight Petered and does. Brady McClure to Noah Lashley, a 25-yard strike. And the Raiders can go up by 8 here.
There aren't many times, guys, that 2 receivers could have caught a touchdown pass. They missed the receiver over the top who was wide open and 10 yards past the defense.
And the point after is good, and now the Owls will have their work cut out for them, maybe only because there's only 7 minutes left in the game. It has been a lengthy ball control offense that's taken a lot of time to get down the field. Well, they got 7 minutes to try to get 8 points out of the deal. We'll take a quick break and come back. 7 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Raiders up 14-6 on Parkland Sports Live.
At Belgrade State Bank, we're proud to support our local students. For over a century, we've been more than just a bank. We're part of the community. By investing in our youth, we help build a brighter future, from the classroom to the field. We're here to support our students every step of the way. Belgrade State Bank, proud supporters of our local schools and the next generation. A wise place to do business.
Cole Mullen speaking for the Raiders.
Let's go, Cole!
Greg Allen, Jake Whitener, Mike Reeves, week 7 of high school football.
Willie Coleman, Logan Wilson.
Parkland Sports Live bringing it to you. 1-score game in the 4th quarter. Raiders have beaten the Owls 9 consecutive. Wilson on the return. It's going to be a long field for Patterson and the Owls. He's wrestled down to the 20. Neither team in any drive tonight has started on the opponent's side of the 50. Windsor did recover an onside kick, but even that drive started at their own 47.
Ball spotted just across the 20-yard line where the Owls will start out 1st and 10.
It's easy to say the way this game has played out, but I mean, it's one drive for the Owls to try to tie it, and 6:53 to try to get that drive all the way to the end zone. Single wide out split to the bottom of your screen. Coleman in motion, gets the toss, that sweep outside, and Pipkin, the first man to jump on top of him and wrestle him to the turf. Gain of 2.
You know, if you're Windsor, you don't have to force your hand here. There's plenty of clock left, but at the same point, whatever you do, you've got to get to where if you are going to continue to run the ball and try to manage this, you've got to make sure that your down and distance is in your favor and you don't put yourself in a situation where you have to force your offensive play call.
And there's a timeout Windsor probably would not have wanted to take. Pipkin, the leading tackler for the North County Raiders, with 59 total tackles coming into this one. That was an interesting timeout. I thought it was also interesting when Mike talked at the half with Lee Freeman. He caught on exactly to what you thought of 2 plays into the game. The matchups defensively were not there for Windsor, and they were in a spot that they could get burned if North County caught it. Lee Freeman saw it first and had to use a timeout before the 3rd play of the game. He confirmed that at the half. What do you got now, Mike?
I kind of wonder how much that timeout came from the initial play where they were late getting onto the field for their first play. They never really got into huddle. I guess you could say the huddle was over on the sideline, but they had to rush to get out, then run the play, and then they did not seem at all ready to run the second one. I guess it's better to take a timeout than to run a negative yardage or turnover type play, but I'm with you, Greg. You don't want to take that one there. You may need those as you get closer to the goal line if you get there.
6:23 to go in the 4th quarter, 2nd and 8. Patterson going to throw it. Single man in the formation. He's got coverage. Arms outstretched, and what a haul-in by Brandon Palmy. What a catch.
12 on the catch.
Wow.
Brandon Palmy.
How Palmy saw the football around the defender, no clue, but an absolutely tremendous catch.
Dylan Wisnowski on the coverage and the stop.
Wow, that's been 2 beautifully thrown footballs from Patterson.
I mean, he's only 3 for 4 on the night. Is that right? He's thrown 4 passes and had 3 completions. Had the swing pass, the downfield touchdown.
That one, I don't remember the incompletion.
The incompletion was the underthrown in the first, down that left sideline, just barely underthrew, but my goodness.
Wow. Under 6 to go. Raiders have movement. See no yellow. Another 5-ish yard gain. That's been the modus operandi for the Owls tonight. That one from Wilson.
Xavier Sherfish also in on that.
I mean, a pop play like that, I mean, that's exactly what you need to move the ball. I mean, now you can get into your run game that does take 5 or 6 minutes to go 40 yards.
Thanks for stopping by.
Some kind of play. 2nd down here. Handoff Coleman, dancing on the interior.
Coleman on the carry.
Makes it again. Seems like every time we look up and it's 3rd down, it's 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3.
On the tackle, Kyle Pennington and Noah Lang.
And this will be 3rd and 3.
Picked up 3 on that play.
General vibe, Michael, on the North County sideline. Anything of note?
No, it's like they've done this all night. We've got to find we've got to find a way to make a stop one time, and I think they're confident they can eventually do that. But they've had this happen against them all night. These running plays for 2-3 yards at a time, and eventually a first down. It's just going to come down to make a play as the clock's getting close to expiring.
They needed 3. They're going to fall a half a yard short, and 4th and a half a yard.
And it's 4th and 1.
5th play of that drive happened there. 4:21 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Stop on the night, Raiders, let's go!
14-6 North County. Opening drive of the game. Touchdown from Noah Lashley. And the most recent drive of the game, just their 4th of the night. Touchdown in the air to Noah Lashley. 4th down and a half a yard. Patterson, inside handoff. I'm not sure he got it. by the spot of the official. They're going to lose yardage. At least the guy coming in from our side of the field.
This guy's got it where it was. He's got no gain.
But from other zebras, he may have enough.
And that's a tough decision. I mean, you don't know which official. It's on the far side of the field away from us on the Windsor sideline. That sideline judge comes running in. Ball went to his side of the field. He has the spot. The guy on our side's got a 40-yard view of it. So technically you can't be charping at him on this side.
They put the sticks down and players from both teams point their favored direction.
And guys, that was such an odd scenario with one official coming in from each side and marking it and having a different mark as to where they thought the ball was. They went with a mark from the Windsor sideline, and it was just enough. My view of it, I thought he was probably a tad short, but at the same time, you're going to have the Windsor faithful say, yeah, let's go look at that play at the two-point conversion again. We thought we had that. It's this game is a game of inches, maybe. It's not baseball after all. Maybe it's this one.
And then after the measurement was completed, one of the Raiders players, I would argue, said something and got a 15-yard personal foul, and Brian Jones wants to know who and what they said. This takes it all the way down to the 24. Players are ready. There's not a zebra anywhere around the ball. 3 of them are on the North County sideline talking to Brian Jones, who's giving them an earful. And that flag went up immediately when the players started to break apart after the official signaled first down.
In that situation, from the coaching standpoint, yes, the call may not be in your favor, but what your kids say on the field, like if there is any type of, profanity at all, you're going to get that unsportsmanlike, especially in the decision where the coach, from the sidelines trying to argue our sideline judge has this ball marked short. You guys are giving us a first down.
Let's go!
1st and 10. That penalty pushes it to the 24. Windsor's got exactly what they wanted coming in. A one-score game in the fourth, football in their hands, 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, just outside the red zone. Patterson on a give to Wilson.
Noah Lashley on the stop. Landon Carroll also in on that stop.
Well, if you look up 3 yards in a cloud of dust, minus maybe the dust tonight, this approach by Windsor is what you find in the dictionary. I mean, this is the example, right?
I think
3 minutes and, all right, 3 yards in black turf pellets maybe.
I think the clock has dictated that you're fine with 3.5 yards. You're setting a first down every 3 plays.
Second down. Wilson
on the carry.
Kind of the same pattern. Just keep putting it on the ground and running it at the Raiders and picking up those 3, 4, 5 at a time. This brings up 3rd and a short 5, though. We're inside of 3 minutes. They're down 18-ish yard line. Down 8. Lost 9 in a row to the North County Raiders. Patterson. Raiders not fooled by that late give on the handoff, and 4th down in the ball game coming here. They went with Cotton, Tristan Cotton.
Xavier Shervis on the stop.
Well, the Raiders just with a dynamite job to stay home defensively.
I was just going to say, if you're Lee Freeman, this is your ball game. You take a timeout and make sure you have your offensive play call.
100%. 2:08 to go, fourth quarter.
On any other play, I was going to note this a second ago, when they gave that little bit of an outside veer stretch to the weak side, meaning the short side of the field, there was nobody covering the second and third phase. Not the play you want to necessarily run now, because it's probably going to be a different scenario in the defense. They were looking to Wilson at the F and trying to tackle inside. But if they get this first down and they run another Wilson inside run, there was nobody on the outside to contain that quarterback.
Well, they'll have to convert 4th and 4 to prolong this drive with 2:08 to go at an 8-point one-score game with a 2-point conversion needed. A 14-6 game. Hope you'll stay with us for the post game. Hope to talk with at least Brian Jones afterwards. A1 Home Care voted best home care service of the Parkland, bringing the coverage tonight along with Hub's Pub and Grill in Bonne Terre. Owls trying to extend the drive, looking for their first win over North County since October 3rd of 2014. Raiders trying to get to 4-3, but so are the newly coached Lee Freeman Owls on 4th and 4. Patterson, handoff inside. Boy, that's another close play. Down right at the marker is Logan Wilson. Man. And they say move the sticks.
First down, Owls.
Number of plays per drive for the Owls tonight. There's been 5 drives. 9, 17, 17, 6, and currently 10. Man, it's just uncanny.
Well, it's something you don't see out of offenses anymore. Usually it's 3, 4, 6 plays and a score or a punt, not 17.
Wilson again tries the outside, flags fly as he is drugged down. Xavier Scherf is hanging on for dear life. But the marker flew right at the snap. This is going to be an illegal shift against Windsor. There's 1:34 to go. Owls have 1 timeout. They took one early in the 4th. They took one moments ago before the 4th down play. So they're left with 1. Not many of these runs have been to the outside in a situation where they can get out of bounds to stop the clock. And they're at the 19-yard line.
Let's go, defense!
And the clock is rolling now. And even Patterson says, hey, we got to pick it up a little bit. They give to Wilson. Far side. Tries to put a foot in the ground and cut to the inside on 1st and 15 and 2nd and 10 coming up. Clock
gotta go.
Coming on a minute, and they're huddling. They're at the 14-yard line and need 8. Mike, what do you got?
You want to talk about patience? I'm down here trying to figure out, I'm going, hurry, hurry. And they're like, we'll huddle up. We'll take our time. We're doing fine. Man, that's something else.
2nd down and 10. You can get a first down at the 4. Patterson going to pass over the top. He's got a man just outside the reach of Charlie Gabriel.
Defending on the play was Jamal Robinson.
It was a good play call, good play design. But now, how much time did you waste to get that in on 3rd and 10? You talk about poise. My heart rate's going, trying to get Windsor to get the ball in. The old coach is coming out. NASCAR tempo. Let's go, fellas.
There ain't nothing NASCAR about this offense.
Well, if you're puttering out of gas and you're trying to get back to the pit, maybe.
After you hit the wall and you're coming down on the infield, trying to limp it to the checkered flag.
I mean, you said 3 yards in a cloud of dust, maybe just the cloud of smoke coming out.
3rd and 10, 36 ticks. Owls down 8. Lee Freeman timeout. Last one of the night coming here. Well, I'll be honest. That was probably the first pass play of the night that was thrown in a situation where I wasn't thinking pass play. Now, whether the Raider defense was or not, that was one of the few that was like, okay, this is what I was expecting run all day long on 2nd and 10. I thought it was a good take and a good chance to take to try to get that defense maybe in a situation where they're pinching in, thinking, boy, it's been run all night. Yeah. They're not going to throw it here.
Well, it was a good thought process to stop the clock without using your timeout.
Also valid.
But it was also the fact that it went to the tight end set, not to the wide receiver. It came from the wing or, your wing back or your H-back to where he snuck out on the go route, the seam route. Not somebody you've seen go downfield for the pass yet.
Play many high school football games in 2 hours flat. We are straight up 9 o'clock with 36 ticks to go in the game clock.
That's only like in an Army-Navy setup where it's triple option.
Mike, it's the exact opposite of Cape Central last year. That thing took 4 hours. Could have played 2 of these games inside of that one. All right, 3rd and 10. 2-down territory for the Owls. They need 8. Just over half a minute to go. Luke Patterson under center. Fumble, ball's on the ground. Patterson picked it up. Clock's going to run. They're out of timeouts, and it's 4th down in the game. That is not at all what you wanted from Windsor. The officials have blown it dead for the moment. Illegal shift on the offense.
Penalty marker on the field. Illegal shift is the call against the Owls. Go 4th down.
And Brian Jones is wondering if he could decline that call and take the result of the play and go 4th down instead of 3rd.
The only bad thing here is he talks to the officials. It gives Windsor more time to think through.
They're not thinking anything. They're ready to go.
They're ready to go. If Coach Freeman's thought, oh, man, this may not work with what we wanted to do, it may give him a second chance. You know, you get those few extra seconds to think it through.
So they will decline the penalty. They'll take the fumble on the exchange. It brings up 4th and 14. Clock at 22. And the officials probably telling Patterson, we're going to roll this thing on my signal. And they do. 20 and counting. Down 8. 4th and 14. Patterson got to have a touchdown, not necessarily on this play. They throw it left side corner. Flag thrown! It's pass interference with 10 seconds left at the goal line.
Penalty markers on the field.
Jamal Robinson on coverage.
15 yards.
Wow.
That's one that we talked about earlier. It's in a face guarding situation. It all comes down, was there contact? Did you alter his route to come back to the ball? If there's any contact at all and you don't have your head turned, technically by Missouri rule on pass interference, if your head's not turned and you're rubbin's racing mindset, you are technically deemed pass interference.
10 seconds. It only puts the football, it's not like the NFL where it's a spot foul. They're down just inside the 10. So there's